In today's lesson, we're going to look at exponents and radicals. Exponent and radical. So that will be the general topic that we'll be studying, and then maybe throughout the week, and then some days we'll be looking at the subtopics under exponent and radicals. So exponent is something that we've used in so many ways in solving a whole lot of problems, and it is very important you know how to work with exponents and radicals, because you will definitely need it in some of the calculations that you do in other topics. You need this application. So this is one of the basic concepts in mathematics that you all need to understand. So one may ask, why are we studying exponent? What is the importance of exponent? How is it going to help our real life? Yes, so like in today, when you are calculating interest rate, if you go for a loan and then you are calculating your interest, or even the savings that you are saving, you want to calculate the interest, you need this exponent, the concept of exponent, to help you. And then even how fast a bacteria can grow, you can use this concept of exponent in calculating it or knowing it. So if you remember, like you can use it to calculate it. So we're going to look at square roots and cube roots, and we will solve problems involving powers with integral and rational exponents. So those are some of the things that we'll be looking. So just pay attention and follow it. You'll get the best of this. You get the best of this. So the first one that we're looking at is square root and cube root. So that is the first concept that we're looking at. Square roots and cube root and cube roots. Those are the two concepts that we are looking at today. Let me make this capital little, because I made a cube root capital. Square root and cube roots. Yeah. So you all know about a square, and you all know about cube. Even if you don't know, you've heard of it before. So another way you can see, like perfect square, or perfect cubes, because these two runs, or like they relate to each other, perfect square or perfect cube. So if you talk of square root, we're talking of one or two equal factors of a number. So square root is one of two equal factors of a number. Let me, because some people can't see I'm bad at writing, of a number. That is a square root, one of two equal factors of a number. So let's say square roots, then this is the sign for square root, like this. Sorry, this is the sign for square root. So you may see it on a calculator, and then all this work you can use the calculator to do it, but it's important to understand the concept, because when applying it in most concepts, the calculator might not be like you may not need a calculator. You need to understand the concept to use it. That's the symbol for it. So if I say square root of 49, then this is going to give me square root of 7 times 7. 7 times 7, which is like, 7 times 7 is what? 7 square. 7 times 7 is equal to 7 square. So this square root, normally it should be like this, but we don't put, if it is cube root, we put the 3 there, but we just do this to represent square root. So this 2 is going to cancel the square root, and then going to be 7. So square root of 49 is going to be 7 as the square root. And if you talk of perfect square, a number that can be expressed as the product of two equal factors. A number that can be expressed as the product of two equal factors. That's why we talk of perfect root and square roots, like they go hands in hand. Hands in hand. So here we could say that 49 is a perfect square of 7, because you can get 7 times 7 is equal to 49. Another example that we can give to is like 16. 16 is equal to 4 times 4, which is 4 square. So it is a perfect square. It is a perfect square. Yeah. So if you look at another example, we can talk of 25. Can talk of 25, which is 5 times 5. You can talk of 9, which is 3 times 3. 3 times 3. So to get the perfect squares, you can start from like 4, which will give you 2 times 2, 9, which is 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 16, 5 times 5, 25, 6 times 6, 36. So you see, they are all perfect squares. 7 times 7, 49. You get perfect squares from that. Get perfect squares from. So like I said, square root and perfect square are technically the same thing. These are just the basics. These are just the basics for you to know. These are just the basics for you to know. So if you see the symbol, that's the square root symbol. Square root symbol. So to find the square root of 36, so if the question said find the square root of 36, find the square root of 36, then you're going to get square root of 36, which is going to give you square root of 6 times 6, and then which is going to give you square root of 6 square, and then this square is going to cancel this square, and then your answer will be 6. So square root of 36 is equal to 6, and 36 is a perfect square because the product, it expresses the product of two equal factors. Two equal factors. So that is it about square roots. That is it about square root. So let's look at perfect cubes and then cube root. Because we're looking at square root and cube root. And we said perfect square and square root are related together. The same thing as perfect cube, and then cube root. Perfect cube and cube root are also related together. So if you talk of perfect cube, a number that is a product of 3 equal factors, and then cube root is one of 3 equal factors of a number. So just as square root and then perfect square, cube root and then perfect cube, the only difference is square we're talking of 2 and cube we're talking of 3. That is the only difference. That's the only difference. So the symbol, okay, let me write a perfect cube. A perfect cube is a number that is product. That is the product of 3 equal factors. So like a perfect square would say it's a number that is a product of 2 equal factors, and a perfect cube is 3 equal factors. So the only difference is 2 and then 3. Everything is the same. So an example is, let's say the number 64 is a perfect cube. We're going to get 4 times 4 times 4, which is 4 cube. Just 4 cube. But if you talk of cube root, so just as square root is one of 2 equal factors of a number, cube root is one of 3 equal factors of a number. So is one of 3 equal factors of a number. One or 3 equal factors of a number. So, and then the symbol, yeah, I did not say, oh, I said a symbol up. Oh, this was the square. I've not said the symbol. So sorry. The symbol for cube root, like square root is just like this, but cube root will have a 3. Cube root will have a 3 over there. So that is the symbol for cube root. That's the symbol for cube root. Cube root. So cube root of 27. Cube root of 27 is going to be cube root of 27. So what times 4 times 4 will give you 27. So you're going to get 3. So cube root of 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 times 3. So which is going to give you 3 exponent 3. And then this is 3, 3. So this 3 is going to cancel this 3. And then cube root of 27 is going to be 3. Cube root of 27 is going to be 3. So that is what you need to take note. And then there are some numbers that you can have. They can be a perfect square and they can be a perfect cube. Like we talk of a perfect cube is those that have the product of 3 equal factors. So let's take 64 for example. 64 for example could be a perfect square and it could be a perfect cube. So 64 will be a perfect square of 8, because 64 is going to be 8 times 8, which is 8 squared, So 64 is a perfect square. The same 64 could be a perfect cube of 4, which will give you 4 times 4 times 4, which is 4 cube, which is also 64. So 64 is a perfect square and a perfect cube. Can you tell any other number which is a perfect square and a perfect cube? Let me know if you be able to tell that. So this is it about perfect squares and then perfect cube. This is about perfect square and then perfect cube. So learning squares and cubes, then you remember about your prime factorization. Remember about your prime factorization. So we'll go over prime factorization quickly in case you've forgotten about it. That is going to revise you on prime factorization. And then all these two, your calculator can help you in getting your answers if you have a question like on this one. Your calculator can help you a lot. There's not anything difficult, but you just have to do. So let's for your prime factorization, I think I don't want to speak more, so you can review your prime factorization to help you with some of these things. And then since most of the things too the calculator may do for you, it's better we move on quickly. Better we move on quickly with it. Yes. So let's try just few examples. You can use your calculators to do it, and then just let me know the answers. So what is the value of each expression? Express your answer as a fraction, integer or a fraction. So let me write it down. What is the value of each of the expression? So A, 7 square, B, D, and then E. So just tell me the values of these ones. What does it mean? Let me do one example here for you, then you get to know. So example, let me do an example for you. So let's say 3 over 4, 3 out of 4 square. So this one, because the square is outside the parenthesis, is going to be 3 square over 4 square, and 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16. So 9 out of 16. 9 out of 16. I don't know, can I break this down? 9 and 16. Yeah, and I don't want to get it in decimals. So I guess we could just keep it this way. So this is just an example. This is an example for you. So now I want you to go over this. This is just okay, these ones are on squares. Let me give you some work on cube as well. Okay, so do this one too. What is the value of each of the expression? So let's say question 2. what is the value of each expression? A 3q, B 6q, C 2q over 4. 2q over 4. And then let me do D square root of 169. And then E cube root of 8,000. Yeah, so these are the questions you need to do. I think 10 of them, but they are very simple, something very simple that you can do. First 5 and then second 5. So this is it. This is just the beginning, just I'll say introduction to exponents, because these are the basics that you need to know. And then from there we can move on into the details of the exponent. You learn about the laws of exponents and everything. So I want you to do this one. Thank you.